Hello, and welcome to Here's the Thing with Robbie and Jose, where we explore relationships through a male and female perspective. With me, as always, is the lovely Robbie.
Hello, Jose.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
It's cooling down a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Considering, okay, so when we record, we have to turn off the AC unit. So
Right.
it's hard sometimes.
It's very difficult sometimes because just like anything, even if it's not cooling, but just circulating the air sometimes.
Yeah. You just need a fan on. But yeah, there's no fan because it, picks up on the audio.
Well,
so.
and it wouldn't be so bad except that everybody in the country is kind of dealing with that heat wave right
Yeah.
now. So it's just, but it's going to get better. We're going to have fall here pretty soon and, everything that goes along with fall.
Yeah.
But yeah, so today we're going to talk about dates and fun dates in particular, right?
Yay.
Yeah, because I mean, I remember when I was growing up, and this is bad, like now I would never suggest it, but it's dinner and a movie.
Oh, it's the worst.
Well, at the time, that's all we had, or at least that's all I had in my repertoire. Sorry. Like, I don't know where you take people. You always thought movie and dinner. What else do you want?
Okay, but you watch a lot of movies. What do they do on the movies?
It's different. So most of the movies that I saw, they were rom-coms. Again, like Wedding Singer. They're at a wedding. They work at the
The banquet hall?
Yeah, the events place. But that was work. So it just happened to be fun work. But, I don't know. And then either that or the rom-coms that were in high school, but like in the Notebook, it's not like they went anywhere. They would just
They were kids and they were poor. I'm thinking about like Pretty Woman. Like he took her to the opera. He took her to the polo match.
Get out of here. Who's got money for the opera and polo matches and all that stuff?
Somebody.
If I'm a billionaire, then yeah, this is different. Okay, so
you
we're
don't have to
talking
be
about
a
a
billionaire
budget.
to go see polo.
Well, kind of, don't you? Where?
They don't let you in?
Well, I don't. Is that an event that you would pay for? Or is it just a bunch of rich people getting together and saying,
I don't know. I don't know if
get
we
on a
have
horse?
anything like that around here.
Because it's an Olympic sport, right? So I would imagine there's a fan club. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
We should start the fan club.
We should. Like, what's your favorite polo team? That's a question you don't get every.
Yeah, you're like, what did you say? Yeah.
Well, even water polo, because technically that's a sport. But
Yeah.
does anybody go and see water polo
Don't
matches?
know.
Now I got me really thinking.
I'm just thinking about the polo matches because like the best part is like all the women dress up and they have these, those big hats.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Because it's hot and they're outside and, they're drinking tea, I'm assuming. I don't know what they're doing.
Man, this is vodka straight. That's what they're drinking.
Probably. But yeah, so back in the day, that was the most boring thing you could do. And even now, I still wouldn't suggest it.
So when you were taking women to dinner and a movie, did any one of them ever say like, hey, let's do something different next time?
Honestly, I don't remember that ever coming up. And I don't, maybe, because again, this is 20 some odd years ago. I'm sure there were fun date
Yeah, because they
places.
have like go-karts and stuff. That's been around for a long time.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess I never really thought about
Batting
it.
cages, was that like a thing back then?
I think so, yeah. And that's still fun
Sporting
too.
events. I'm naming things that have been around for years.
Yeah,
Like,
honestly, well, see, I'm not a big sports fan.
I'm saying there was a lot of stuff even 20 years ago.
well, within that, right? Because I was, kind of thinking about it too. But, a concert is also a fun date too.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I don't go to a lot of concerts either.
Yeah.
Every now and again, because I just...
And you'd have to find someone that has the same music taste.
Yes.
Because unless it was like comedy shows, that's really fun.
Yeah, I'm trying
Like
to think
stand-up?
Yeah, I went to one. I'm trying to think if I've ever been to. I've been to one. Yeah, it was okay. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, you don't have to be a fan of this person. It's like you're just
Right.
hearing jokes, so it's different than seeing. You're
You
like,
know, now that I think about it, I wasn't very creative back then. You are naming out of a bunch of stuff, and it's like, yeah, those are fun, or they could be fun.
yeah.
Dang. No wonder they broke.
I mean, y'all could even drive to a casino. Oklahoma is not that far from here. Like, you could have had a casino night, come back the same night.
Yeah, and again, that's where it's hard for me because whenever I'm playing with money, I get real serious. And like I'm not here to waste
That's a
money.
bad date.
It
She's going to be
is.
standing there like, can we go, please? My feet hurt.
Yeah, and I have a buddy of mine, and his wife is like that. Like he loves to gamble and play the slots, and then she's just sitting there just watching him. But she seems to be okay with it. Like it's not
It's
like
entertaining for her.
yeah. I guess the way she looks at it. If he's happy, she's happy. So what are you gonna do, right?
That's beautiful.
But some of these are fun dates. But I was actually thinking about one of them, right? So the one of the fun dates that I was on was a cooking class that we had. So the cooking class was fun, but really and honestly, you could do that at home too, right? So like if you're at home, you can just invite her and be like, okay, let's make dinner together.
Yeah, but there's something more fun about getting dressed up and going out than having date night at home. Because let's play out your scenario. You just said you're probably both in your like holy sweatpants. Like it's not as
No. I would want to dress up and get all, not super dressed up.
But I'm just saying, like, if she said, like, no, I'm at my home, I want to be comfortable, and she's got her sweatpants that are holy and got stains on them or whatever, with a cutoff shirt.
You're killing the mood, man.
Well, I'm
You're
just
killing
saying
the
that if you go to a cooking class, she's probably wearing a beautiful dress. She's got her hair and makeup done. Like, it's a different vibe.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So yeah.
But would you rather cook at home? Is that more appealing to you?
Well, I'm just saying, because if it's like if we want to make a special dinner or something together, I don't know. Like you could do it that way. I mean, the nice thing about a cooking class is that you're both learning. So this is interesting. And I would say that this across the board, no matter what it is that you're doing, we can talk about the various different activities within those dates, but you learn something new about your partner. You really
that
do.
they can't cook.
Well, either they can't cook or they can't
follow directions.
Exactly. That's another one. You could also learn, like, if they get frustrated very easily.
Yeah.
If they have patience, if they're like, if they really genuinely want to focus on making whatever it is that you're cooking, or if they're just having fun with it, like how serious are they? And again, you can play around with them too. You can get a carrot and be like, look.
Oh my God.
A carrot and 2 pieces of broccoli and be like, look at me. You have fun with it. It's a fun date. We're talking about fun dates here.
I'm trying to think if I was on a first date with someone and if they did that, if I would stay or not.
I mean, of course you're going to stay. Where are you going to go? We're having fun.
Away from the weirdo pervert?
Oh, man. You have fun. Like, woo. But yeah, but you could do things like that, but you would find out quite a bit from your partner.
It's very interesting. I didn't think of it that way, of being able to find out all these things about them. I didn't do a cooking class, but I did do a chocolate making class, which I thought was a really fun date. But the thing for me is that you're there in a smaller room with a bunch of other people you don't know. So it kind of takes
Making
a little
chocolate.
bit.
Sounds like a sweatshop there. Say, hey, y'all.
Like,
hurry
wait,
up
I
and
thought we
make
could
these.
take these home. You're like, no, you're going to sell these in the shop
it's
next
like,
door.
Your quota's down, young people. Like, what's going on?
But yeah, it was really fun, but I don't think it was anything to get frustrated with. Like I think that cooking is more difficult. This was just like, okay, here's some heated chocolate and you just blob it here and put sprinkles on it.
It's like home ec.
Yeah.
Did you have home ec?
Our school did not have that. I have only seen that in the movies.
No, there was, some schools have them. I don't know. I'm trying to think of, I had home ec.
Okay, write in and let us know. Did you have a home ec class? Because my school did not. At least when I went to high school, it wasn't even offered. There was nothing even like that.
Yeah, shop. I don't know if they still do shop.
They did shop, but they didn't even do like a sex ed or anything. We never did that.
Yeah. No. Well, ours was just like one session. They talked about the person. The bees like, this is the way it works. Any questions? No, thank you. Have a good day.
Here's a condom. Bye bye.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I'm just thinking of like those types of things. Like we didn't have that.
Because those were obviously the fun classes, shop class and home ec and things like that. Those are the best. Those I would always attend. It's the math and social studies, history. I was just like,
yeah, I don't want to do that.
Who cares, man? I have a calculator. I don't need to know.
So would you do it again? The cooking class?
Yeah. It was fun. Yeah, it was fun. And I did learn a lot of those things, not least of which, in that cooking class, she was getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't coming out the way she wanted it to come out.
Yeah.
Which for me, I was like, I'm here to have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's our first time. nobody expects anybody to get anything right the first time.
But do you think that maybe some of that, maybe she was a little embarrassed in front of her new boyfriend that like this thing isn't going right? Like it's still, you're kind of on display a little bit because the teacher's coming around scolding you if your pasta is too stodgy.
Well, the trainer, chef, whatever that person was, they were very militant about it. They're like, we got to do it now. We got to do this.
Maybe that set the vibe.
That might have been, because the other thing that I learned about her, in addition to that, was she was bored out of her mind. It was her date to begin with, and she was bored.
Oh, she came up with it, and then
then when we were going through it, I was having a blast, but she was getting irritated because she was getting bored. It wasn't going fast enough, so she had like an overly active mind, I guess, or something.
But like, if you're on a date. Like, and let's say that the class paused for a second, or they're like the teacher's walking around to look at stuff and you're just sitting there. Wouldn't you just converse with your date and just be playful and have a good time? Like, why?
That's what I was doing.
It's not boring. Like, who are you talking to?
I just like, I was there to have fun. I wasn't there to make it right.
Yeah.
I was just there to have fun, and if it came out okay, then so be it. But yeah,
and
it wasn't after. And afterwards is when she told me.
Yeah.
She was like, I couldn't stand. I had to hurry up and get. So that was the other thing, is that my experience, I had a blast. I had a great time. She, not so much. She pretended pretty good though. But now looking back on it, I'm like, yeah, I guess I could have picked up on that.
Thinking like that's like the sweetest date, because I can picture like after it's over, let's say you made like a tiramisu or something, and after it's over you both like share a piece and you put a little whipped cream on their nose. It's so cute. That's what I'm envisioning. But you were like, she's like, I need to leave, this is boring, let's get out of here.
Yes, that's exactly. And where I was hanging out, I was having a good time.
It's not for everybody.
Again, I didn't go on very many fun dates. So when I do come across one, it's fun.
Yeah, I would love that. I think that would be a great, even a first date, honestly, because you're just standing next to each other talking. Like, I don't know. I think that's an amazing.
I can tell you the other fun date, and this was with a different gal. And we went to a do-it-yourself place.
Do you like to do it yourself?
Sometimes.
If the mood's right.
If the mood's right.
This is from 40-Year-Old Virgin. For anyone listening that doesn't know what we're referencing, it is a movie. But
yeah, so
what was the do-it-yourself?
So what it was, and I had no idea. So it was a surprise date, which was really cool. So we get there.
Surprise dinner in a movie.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my surprise. So what movie? It doesn't matter. They're all the same. But we had gone out. We had done a few activities, and then she had already scheduled this. So you go in, and they have a bunch of different projects. Whether it's making, like, you can make a wallet. You can make picture frames. You can make a painting, and they have different paintings. You can all kinds of stuff.
It was like shop.
Yeah, it was exactly like shop. And what they do is they sit you down at this table, and they give you like power tools and paintbrushes and paint, and you have like access to all these different things. Goggles. They give you aprons. Like, it's everything. It's exactly like shop. And so once you pick a project that has instructions, again, you learn quite a bit from these people, right? Whether, and not least of which, I think you learn in that one, we learned that we could actually like coordinate things and get things done. Yeah. Which was really, really cool. It didn't last, but.
Did you pick like one thing for the both of you to do together, or do you pick your own thing?
No, you do one together. You can do either or. So you can pick one, and then the other person can pick one.
Most people probably would pick one together.
Right. That's the whole point.
Well, I don't know. Some people
like, you go sit over there. I'm gonna sit right here.
No, you can sit next to each other. Be like, I want to make a wallet, and then the other person was like, I want to paint.
And then the other thing that was nice about this one is they serve alcohol there too, which is really amazing. You have a really good time at that point. Yeah. I
don't know. You know, it's funny because I remember growing up and like having beer at like Chuck E. Cheese was not a thing. And I remember becoming an adult and they started doing, and it's like, yeah, because parents want to drink because this is boring. We want to have it at the arcade. So now they serve alcohol like everywhere.
Well, I would say this much. In those kind of parties, especially the person hosting or whatever throwing the party, it's so stressful. It's such a stressful thing because you're worried about the kids. Do you have enough food? Do you have enough tokens? Somebody messed something up.
Sounds really annoying.
It's hard. If you don't have children, you can't really appreciate it. But if you do, there's just so many different things to factor in, and everybody wants something, and there's always little emergencies here and there.
I have gone to Chuck E. Cheese birthday parties for my nieces and nephews when they were little.
Yeah.
And yeah.
If you don't have kids, you could just go and have fun.
I know, but I'm saying I witnessed all of that, what you're saying.
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
It's very taxing. It's not a fun date.
If I have a kid, they're like, Mommy, I want to go to Chuck E. Cheese. Like, nope.
No,
They closed down, I think. We're not doing that.
That's under the not fun category. Let's just put it that way. But
what if, let me ask you a quick, because I was just thinking about that. Like, what if you were with someone and they said, okay, I picked today's date night, and they did take you to Chuck E. Cheese?
That would be weird. That would be weird.
Like, creep you out?
Yeah, a little bit, because I would want to know why.
Maybe she thought it was funny. Like, as a joke, like, we're going to spend.
Well, then I would have fun. But if she was just like, this is my favorite place.
I come here every Friday.
Yeah, exactly. Then
they're like, hey, Jessica, it's nice to see you again.
Who's your friend?
Her pictures on the wall for like patron of the month or something.
That's what I'm saying. Then I'd be like, oh,
your table is ready.
Yeah. Like, oh, that's what I'm saying. So it depends, right? If it's a gag, sure, I'll have fun. Like, okay, let's go have fun. But if it's like a for real,
yeah.
Then I'm like, okay, why out of all the places did you bring me here?
You know, that makes me think of like paintball, because I feel like some people can be very aggressive and some not so much. So if you took a date there, all the things that you would find out, like.
Have you ever been on a date? I've never taken a date to a paintball fight.
No, but I don't think
dangerous.
I would like it.
No, hell
because I'm
no.
not very competitive. So, and a lot of guys are. So, like, they'd probably be like shooting you in the face and be like, "Oh, it was
exactly."
funny." No,
no, I was gonna say, because those paintballs, they hurt.
Yeah,
it's no joke. I would never take a date to a paintball. Like, I would do that thing that from 10 Things I Hate About You,
where they had it in their hands.
Yeah, it's like a water balloon, but with paint inside of it. That I would do, because that could be fun.
But still, what if you were with someone who was super competitive? And I mean to a point where it's like you don't want to do anything with that person. You know what I mean? We're like trash talking and like being too like you. Well,
I don't want to like, like, yeah, if it's emasculating, no, I don't want to.
No, I just mean for either way.
Like, if I'm like, let's say I was dating a professional athlete or something like that, right? Like, let's say in this weird world, because I'm 5'5", I was dating like somebody from the WNBA or something.
Okay. She's like, let's go shoot hoops.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd be like, well, I mean, I could, but I'm not going to win that one. I know that for sure. Like, I don't want to even the playing field. But no, so I would say that if I dated somebody that was super competitive, I don't think it would work.
Yeah.
Because I am super competitive too. And because I'm super competitive, I know that once I get laser focused on winning, I'm going to win.
Yeah, but that would kill the vibe, I
exactly.
think.
Almost immediately.
Yeah.
Because then I beat you, you loser. And I know I'm driving home by myself that night.
She called an Uber. She's like, I don't know. I wouldn't like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So for me, let's say if I was doing that, even if it was competitive, like a competitive thing, like let's say axe throwing or something like that, I would still play to win, but I wouldn't like play to win.
Yeah,
win.
I don't keep score and any of that kind of.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I would make fun of it, even if we were doing just to kind of whatever, but it wouldn't be like I'm going to win no matter what, right? Because I'm having fun and I want to win later on.
If you're going to win later on, you better lose now.
Well, I mean, it depends, right? Because there's also those social pressures that we get. If you go to a carnival, for instance, and you have the thing where you have the hammer and you have to hit and it goes all the way to
that thing, yes.
It goes all the way to the top, hits the bell. So now the pressure's on because
everybody's watching.
Of course, everybody's watching.
When I see guys do that and they can't, it's so embarrassing.
You can't hit the top. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
exactly.
It's so sad.
You're like, oh man, here we go. Like, what are you supposed to do?
What if you've tried it before and you can't do it, and then you take a girl to the carnival and she said, "Oh, baby, play this thing." Would you just say no?
You got to be creative or whatever. You
like,
can't
I
tell
hurt
her
my
no.
elbow yesterday.
Yeah,
I can't.
I guess that's a good one. I didn't even think about it. I hurt my elbow at work, but you work in an office typing all day. I know, but I got up too quick and I hit myself on the wall there. But yeah, I guess that's a good one. I would have just done it, to be honest with you.
And just not hit the ding.
Well, I would give it all I got. Let's put it
But let's
that
say
way.
you still couldn't. Would you walk back shamefully?
Like from, do you remember that movie, Napoleon Dynamite? Did you see that? Where he's trying to break up the Tupperware?
Yeah.
And then that disappointing look from his wife's face.
Yeah,
when he
like
couldn't
my
do it.
husband can't even
Yes.
open this Tupperware. Or I think he was trying to bend it or something.
Yeah, because he asked him, see if he can break this.
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
he's like trying
Yeah.
really
Oh my
hard.
God.
And
That's sad.
no, but as long as she didn't judge me for it. I don't know. Would you judge a guy? If you were on a date and the guy, maybe he wasn't very top heavy or strong, excuse me, right? Upper body strength, let's say, I'm sorry. So he doesn't have a huge upper body strength, but he gives it all he has and still comes up short, so to speak.
No, I don't think I would judge him, but I would feel bad for him because I know the shame that he's feeling. And everyone's like, and you hear the crowd and they're like, oh, I'm like, dang it, you got to make it worse. It's like when you fall out in public and everybody stops to ask, are you okay? It's like, can you stop drawing attention to me falling down?
Did they really all? I don't think
I've seen that before.
I'm still laughing at that. Why would you all at something like that?
Because it's sad.
Nobody alls. Well, I guess they do, and somebody shoots and misses, I suppose.
Yeah, like, you know, when you watch like America's Funniest Home Videos and the dad gets hit in the crotch with the ball, everyone's like, oh, you know, it's the same thing. It's like a natural reaction. Like, he can't get it up there.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. So once that happens, what do you do? Because that's almost an impossible situation. Unless you really have,
I would say my elbow hurts.
My wrist. I don't know. You got to figure something out. Yeah, I don't, because I've done like other things, like trying to knock down the pins with, one baseball or whatever, or shooting at stuff, or even the water thing where you squirt the water. And I didn't always win, but
So what if you were there the whole night and you couldn't win anything for your girl? Would you be embarrassed?
Of course I would be embarrassed. Why would you not? But that's what I'm saying. It's a social pressure that we have to do that. I don't know why.
Yeah, so don't take him there if you know you can't win any of those games, because you're saying all men walk into the carnival thinking, I'm going to win at least one thing for this girl.
Honestly, it does give me a little bit of anxiety whenever I go into a carnival with the date. Yeah, because I am thinking I do have to win something. I really honestly do. I want a teddy bear, because here's the thing. They put the most fluffiest, cutest teddy bears and things up and she's like, oh, and then of course, if you see somebody else walking with it, so that means it can be done.
Those toys are not they're terrifying. I've never seen anything cute at the carnival.
It would be like a teddy bear or something, there's some of them are cute.
It's like the
Snoopy
worst.
Or something.
Does a girl really want a Snoopy doll?
That's not the point. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's not the point.
I don't want you to win me something because I'm just going to have to throw it away.
Yeah, trust me, you still want me to win it. I'm telling you, women still want you to win it. But again, even if you see other people walking around with those toys.
You're like, well, he did it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So then you almost want to ask them, like, what game was it?
You'd be like, I found this, man.
Well, because here's the thing, like, not all games are created equal. Some are a little more harder than the other.
Do you have to know a carny in order to get that information and secret intel?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I guess you could ask the people walking by, like, where did you get that? What game?
Yeah.
So I can, because some of them, like, it's the basketball thing.
Yeah.
So if you're not good at basketball, there's no point in you trying that. You're going to fail. Like, you're just not good at it. Or even the shooting one, that's not your thing. But if it takes like coordination where they have the little bottle, and you have to like stand it up on the little string and thing, whatever, you might be able to do that if you have steady hands.
My favorite one to watch is the one with you were talking about earlier, where they have to hit the metal and it goes up. But the other one is the one where it's like a tomato and they throw it at a guy with his face through the board. What is that called? You have to hit the guy with the tomato.
Yeah, I don't think.
And the whole thing is the guy will be talking mess to try to anger the guy.
Yeah.
And then you see the guys, and they're just like, man, they were throwing it as hard as they possibly can. They want to hit that dude, and then they can't, and it's just like, oh.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done that, because I would probably get too upset and have to walk up there.
Yeah, because then he'd be like, hey, yeah, you little punk, you couldn't get it, and then you're like, give me $5 more. Like, then you're just all there all night till you hit that dude.
Yeah, no, I don't need to put out my aggression there, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there kind of is that social pressure, but some of them you might be able to get away with, some of them you can't. So, I mean, it's tough.
What about, I think, another social pressure? Like, let's say you took to a baseball game and you were in a section and they hit a pop fly, right? and it's coming right towards you, if you don't catch it, if you miss it, even though it was coming right towards you, is that the same? If it's coming, you're like, I need to catch this ball because my girl's right here watching me?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard, right? Because it's going to sting as soon as it hits you. But yeah, I guess there would be a certain amount of social pressure.
Because whenever I go to the game and someone tries and they don't get it, everybody in the crowd's like, oh, like, dang, dude, you couldn't even catch it. And then it falls down and goes to someone else.
It'd be more embarrassing if it was coming and about to hit her in the face and you went up to try to catch it to protect her and missed.
Or what if you like turn the other way to make sure it doesn't hit you? You know it's coming towards her. But like, let me get over here.
But yeah, that's.
I can't imagine getting hit in the face with a baseball like that.
I don't want to either, but it happens a lot.
I know, it's terrifying. Every time I'm at a game and because my vision's not great, so when it's like a foul ball, I'm like, I kind of duck. Like, tell me if it's coming anywhere near me because I can't see it.
You need to stay out of baseball.
I need a net over my area.
Walk in with a helmet.
Maybe next time I'll wear a helmet.
But yeah, again, back to everything. Like, let's say, and I've never done it, but let's say you went kayaking or something like that. You have to coordinate. You have to work together. That's why the do-it-yourself project, that really was super fun. You really get to learn stuff.
And you may only be able to do like the kayaking thing with someone who's active. You know what I mean? Like, you'd have to judge that based on the person.
Right. Yeah.
Because that could be fun, but let's say it was the dead of summer and the guy was like, hey, this would be fun. And I'm out there trying to be cute and I'm sweating and I'm doing this thing that I don't want to do normally anyway.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Well, the thing about that is that so the other dates, at least to a certain degree, it's not too physical, but kayaking would.
Yeah,
right? Like,
I don't
even
want to go and sweat.
Something.
Why would you go camping on a first date?
Not a first date, but we're talking about fun dates in general.
Oh, that's not fun. The girls don't like camping. If they do, it's glamping, but no. I don't think a lot of women like camping.
But you learn quite a bit, like you said.
I'm sure.
Like you learn to a certain point your breaking points as well, like what you can and cannot stand.
Yeah,
and if you get short and like it's pretty eye opening, man. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the other one that I like doing is bowling. Bowling is fun. Again, it's a little more physical, right?
And you can't be competitive because it's the same thing. If I had someone that was like talking mess to me the whole time, that wouldn't make me want to play.
Yeah. No,
he's like, you suck. I'm gonna be you. You're gonna be crying. You're gonna have to call someone to pick you up.
Well, I was thinking about not that, sorry, but I was thinking about back to the carnival thing and that one game, and I don't even know why people play it, where the guy has to guess either your age or your weight.
Do they still do that? I think that's no longer.
But I'm just trying to figure out why anybody would ever subject themselves to that, especially if you're on a date. I wouldn't, because you can win prizes. If he's wrong, he gives you a prize.
Right.
The problem is you have to tell him the truth, whether how much you weigh or how old you are.
Yeah, I don't.
So
I don't think that's a thing. I feel like people would have already vetoed that out, like in our day and age.
You would think, but yeah. So back to the bowling. Yeah, you don't want to be too competitive. It's fun though. You just have to wear those nasty shoes. That's the only part that doesn't sound very fun.
It's the worst.
And
all. Then what if your date, like if you didn't tell her, let's say you surprised her and she didn't bring socks, like she was wearing heels or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I know they have quote unquote. Well, it is socks that they give you if you don't have any. I've never worn those. Like the bowling alley has.
Yikes.
Kind of
Would
like
you
when
trust that? I wouldn't
no,
trust
absolutely
that,
not. But it made me think of like at a shoe store. I don't know if.
Oh yeah, they give you the socks.
The little hose. Yeah.
No,
and so like, I mean, it's not used, but there's always a box of those little hose, in like, let's say you're in DSW or whatever. But when you pull one out and they look so sad because it's just the foot. And it's like this little shriveled up thing. I don't know. It just makes me sad to put it on. Like, I don't want to put it on. I want to see how cute my feet look in these shoes.
That's, again, not a fun date. Put that on the not fun category. Because that doesn't, yeah. But yeah, I guess, yeah. So that one you would have to give her a heads up for sure.
Yeah, we're going bowling.
Surprise.
And then, yeah.
But yeah, anytime there's alcohol involved, because I know we had talked about this, the outdoor festivals. Those are fun. But again, not all fun.
Yeah.
Because again, you're going to learn something from your partner. And if that partner gets fussy really fast, easily irritated, you're going to find out really, really fast. Because they can be fun, but on the ones that are on really hot days, after you've been drinking, you're already dehydrated, your shoes, your feet's going to hurt.
Or if it's pouring. I went to this thing one time. It was a food festival. And we got there, got our tickets, paid for everything. Not 2 minutes later, a horrible storm came in. And it was like raining terribly. So we tried to run under, like wait it out. And then
It was
pouring. And then when it stopped, all of the vendors had been like, okay, bye.
That was it.
Yeah.
Done. It's a wrap.
You're done, son. Yeah.
But again, because you're subjected to the elements. Anytime you do anything outdoors, and if you forget to bring something, if you forget to bring sunscreen, like there's just so much whatever.
Would you choose an outside date as like your idea? Because there is a lot of pressure, right? To make it where they have fun.
I would only do an outdoor activity if we've been dating a while.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
Not newly. No, I agree.
Because it's too much. Yeah. It's too, and then of course you start sweating. You get, like me personally, I start getting really oily really fast. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. And she's got to look at me like that. And it's just not a good look.
Yeah. Or it could be really cold. Like I remember going to haunted houses before and it's like freezing. And then the whole time you're there, you're miserable.
Haunted houses. Now you're talking.
Yeah. That's a fun date.
It can be unless you get scared that you peed your pants. And there's that, she's with that guy. Because I remember only one, and it wasn't a date, mind you, but I was at a haunted house once, and I was doing pretty good. Like I wasn't, everybody was jumping out, and I was like, this is nothing. I don't really care, And some of them was like evil clowns, you get the like Jason mask from Freddy Krueger's and just, demons and all that other stuff. And then all of a sudden, I heard the chainsaw, and something in me snapped. And I bolted for the door. And I remember I was pushing little kids aside. Like
get out the way.
Yeah, I was an adult. And I swear it was a bunch of like 10-year-olds. And I ran over them.
Oh my, were you there with friends?
Yeah. I was there with friends. But
Did your friends clown on you though?
No, well, everybody when that happened, there was a section in the haunted house where it was meant to discombobulate you. Because, you're walking down in a haunted house and it was open. So as soon as that happened and it was like the lights were flashing.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I got disoriented. I knew which way was out.
Yeah.
But I got disoriented and then just started bolting. So my other friends, they got lost. Yeah. They didn't know what happened to me. I just told them I ran. I didn't give a
I see a bunch of hurt kids. Like they got paramedics there, like taking out the kids that you stepped on and pushed over.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah. So, but did they have this other thing? What is it called? Panic rooms, right? Or escape rooms or something?
Oh yeah, escape rooms.
I've never been to one. Have you ever been to one?
I did go to one, but it wasn't a date. I went with some family members.
Okay. And is it just that? You just have to find like a key somewhere?
Well, everyone is different, so it just depends. I'm trying to remember what ours was because it was years ago, but it could be you have to find a key or you have to get a code or you have to find this map or treasure. I don't know.
Clues and stuff like that?
Yeah, they do clues. So the thing is that they don't, I'm not aware if they do escape rooms that have just 2 people, right? So it's usually a group. So if the limit is 8 and for when I went, it was just 3 of us.
Yeah.
So then we would be in the room with 5 other strangers that we never met trying to solve this puzzle. And that was really annoying.
Yeah, it didn't sound fun. That doesn't sound fun at all.
Do
they even exist anymore? Because it sounds like a bad business plan.
I think that they do. I think that they do. And it's probably really fun if you knew everybody in there. If it was just your friends or just your family, it's probably more fun. But you kind of are, it's kind of like hibachi, right? If you go on a date, you're stuck with a bunch of other people at the table.
Let me tell you about hibachi. I don't know that I would ever take a date to hibachi unless I've known her for a while, because things can get out of hand on a hibachi table. Things can get out of hand really, really fast.
What do you mean?
Well, they can either argue with the chef or somebody can say something, misunderstanding, because you have different personalities. To your point, if you don't know everybody on the...
Why would they be yelling at the chef?
I'm trying to think, but there's been a couple of times when I went and I was with family, and it got a little awkward there for a second. It got a little...
I've never experienced that.
Because sometimes the chef or the cook, whatever, they get a little sassy. and it doesn't always come off. It doesn't.
What would
isn't
they
well
say?
received. I'm trying to think, but I have been to some, and he was trying to be a little sassy, and the people that were there weren't having it. They weren't there to have fun.
It's kind of like Dick's Last Resort. Have you ever been
Yeah,
there?
kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was one of those situations that got a little awkward, and I'm like, oh, I want to. Or there was one time, I do remember he was on the phone. He was there by himself, and he was on the phone. So he was trying to entertain, and the cook was kind of messing with him, but he was on the phone, so he really wasn't understanding. But then he heard a snippet of it and got mad. So he took it out of context and started getting mad at the chef, like, "Hey, man, I just want you to cook." Like, I was like, "Oh, crap." Like, no, he's been having fun with everybody. But again, it got awkward because there's a bunch of different people. You don't know their backgrounds. You don't know if they're...
Yeah.
I would imagine it would be for fun. Like Dick's, it tells you from the get-go.
Yeah.
But a hibachi place, every chef is a little bit different.
That's strange. I've been to hibachi several times. They've never had them try to sass. They'll usually only be like... little things like, you want to see the choo-choo train or what? Like they wouldn't. That's all. I've never had that experience.
Yeah, no. Sometimes
that's
they get
crazy.
A little sassy. A little.
I think hibachi is a really fun date, in my opinion, because like I really like to go there and I have some soju, drink at the bar for a little while, and then you do the hibachi, and then like sometimes we have spoken to the people that are sitting at the table. Yeah. You kind of make friends for the evening, and like I think it could be really fun. It's like almost like a little show, but with your food.
Yeah, yeah. No. The concept is great. Don't get me wrong. The concept is great, and it can be fun. I've been, where everything worked out fine, but I don't know. I've gone through enough bad ones that I would.
What
be
about
skeptical.
like the Korean barbecue where you cook it yourself? Because that's kind of the same thing.
Never
it's
been
fun.
to that.
Oh,
so I don't know what that's all about.
Oh.
Is that fun?
Yeah, it's really fun. like that and fondue places.
Okay.
It's just whoever you're at the table with, and there's like a grill.
So you got to be sharing a table with other people?
No. It's just like a normal table when you go out to dinner. It's you two, right? Yeah. Or if you have multiple people.
Right.
And there's a little grill kind of thing in front, depending on what it is. So like, and then they say like, okay, you pick all your meats, all your veggies, that kind of stuff. And then they bring it out, everything raw. And then you cook it together as a group or with your date.
But aren't you afraid that maybe you undercook it, perhaps? Or no, you don't worry about that?
No.
You don't get sick.
Well, no, it's not like, I guess maybe with chicken. Well, it's probably already like, it's probably flash frozen. What do they call it? When it's like cooked, but it's...
So how do you manage because he said you get all that stuff, but if you got to cook it one at a time, like
you don't have to cook it one at a time. You could put it in like a skewer or whatever, and you can fit multiple in there.
Okay. Because I was about to say I'm eating a piece of meat now. I want to carry it, but I got to cook the carrot.
Oh no. Well, I mean, it just depends. Like I said, like fondue is like the first course is always breads and vegetables, and you dip in the cheese. Oh, it's so fun. Yeah. The second course is the meat. So the bowl in front is like a oil, like a cooking oil. So then it's all the proteins. And then the last one is the chocolate fondue. And they give you like cookies and fruit and all kinds of marshmallows. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like a fun date. I love it. That's spectacular.
But you're there for like 3-4 hours.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you did,
let me ask you this: do you learn anything while you're there?
I think it's just a fun thing. It's almost like making s'mores or something, like with your date. Like it's just fun. Like you're just sitting there, you're having drinks, and you're talking and stuff, and you're cooking through the meals.
So the only trepidation I would have with that, let's say on a first date, for instance, would be like, what if it's just there's no chemistry, no fireworks?
I wouldn't suggest it for a first date.
Right,
it's a very long
3
date.
hours. I'm like, oh
no,
and we're just at the bread.
And you can't just say we just want cheese and we're going to leave.
Yeah,
you have to go through the whole thing.
And let me get out of here.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't suggest it for a first date. But if you're
so
dating
that's another
for a
one.
while,
Yeah, but it would be a fun date. Yeah, I don't think, again, me and cheese, I'm not a big cheese person. So
you must be the only one.
I love cheese. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I don't go out of my way to eat it. If that makes any sense.
You don't push 10-year-olds down to go get cheese.
No, that's life and death.
Because I'm just picturing what that
was life and death. It was get out of my way. Get out of my way.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Which I agree with you. The chainsaw sound is very scary, but I'm wondering if I would be as scared if I didn't know anything about those movies.
Yeah, well, I've seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That's what I'm saying. If you never saw it, would we still be?
Oh, probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still scary, like you said, but probably not. But I remember watching that movie and I saw it when I was a kid. It came out in the 70s. So, Even now, I can still watch it, and it's disturbing.
Yeah, I don't like to watch them. They freak me out.
I mean, now I can, I'm old enough to know like makeup and prosthetics and things like that. So I'm like, oh, okay. Like,
but isn't it based on a true story?
Yeah, sort of.
Loosely?
Yeah, sort
of. So, I
of.
mean, it could happen.
Well, the reason why that particular one is the way it was shot. It looked like they weren't acting, and it was So, anyways, but yeah, the chainsaws are I'm out of here.
So, what would be a really fun, unique date for the first date? You don't want it to be outside. You don't want it to be long. You don't want it to be competitive. So, what's another?
You know what they have over here? I haven't done it, but I want to try it out. Well, to answer your question, I guess if I was on, I would try to do maybe like an axe throwing, but even then you have to be careful because maybe she has physical limitations. You don't know them, right?
Yeah.
But I was gonna say that thing where they're bringing back the old arcade games and you can drink. I would like to do something like that, right? Because who doesn't like playing arcade video games?
A lot of girls.
Arcade video games?
Yeah.
Like I'm not talking about video games like at home. I'm talking
right.
about arcade.
No, I know. I'm just saying some girls don't like that.
Well, then we don't need to date. I'm sorry. What? If that's a deal breaker. If you say to me, like, I'm not saying you have to love it and be like all, geeky about it.
Yeah.
But no.
Maybe the video game part, because I'm thinking like all girls love skee ball. Like I think every woman can say that she loves skee ball, but I'm just thinking about the arcade games. Like a lot of girls when we were growing up didn't play video games. That was a boy's toy.
Do girls play Pac-Man or Mrs. Pac-Man?
Some do.
Have you ever played it?
I'm sure.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
I'm sure I have. I've been to plenty of arcade type things for dates.
But you would have remembered if you would have played Pac-Man or Mrs. Pac-Man.
Well, I played like a lot and I was drinking. I don't know. Like I can't remember everything.
My goodness. Oh,
I'm just saying some girls don't like that. So you would have to ask them because it's a first date. So it's crucial. Do you like old school video arcades or whatever?
I guess, but that was one of those things that I thought would have been universal.
No, nothing is going to be, even like the movies. Let's say she doesn't like to go to the movies and you say, we're going to go dinner and a movie. Now she has to go somewhere she doesn't want to go.
Well, I think we learned something then.
Because I hate going to movie theaters.
Yeah, well, I like them, and I now if I go with somebody that I've been dating for a while.
Yeah,
because it's like yes, it's boring, but it depends on. Because what I've noticed now is some of the women that I date get excited about certain movies. And so if they get excited about it and I want to see it too, it's like,
no, I think it's great. I think dinner and a movie can still be fun. I'm just saying that for someone like me who doesn't like to go to movie theaters for a first date.
If they came out with a Clueless 2, you'd go to the movie theaters.
Yeah,
that's
probably right. Clueless again.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That would take you out. But that's what I mean. Like it would be in those circumstances, right?
Yeah.
And every now and again, like if I know, like let's say for instance, I've had this before too, where a movie comes out and I really want to see it. I know that they don't want to go. Sometimes they'll offer us. So I'll be like, and she'll be like, you want to do something this weekend? And they'll usually suggest it, like, you want to go to movies? Like, yeah, I want to, but I know you don't like to, so I'm just going to watch it by myself.
But you've been dating that person, bro. I'm talking about like a first date.
Yeah, no, first date, if they don't like going to the movies. But that's still going to be problematic because I do like going from time to time. I mean, it's easier because I have kids, so I can just take them.
I can go with them or your friends or something.
But yeah, or go by myself. Like, I don't care. I'm there to watch a movie. Like
you're here to watch Clueless again.
Yes, I want to watch Clueless. I want to see Paul Rudd look exactly the same.
Man, that guy. I don't know what vitamins he's on, but
he made a deal with the devil, I think. Bet you can play guitar really good.
I just think that when you first start talking to somebody, your first date, you should kind of figure out what it is they like to do and then make a suggestion of that. Like, I just think it's a gamble to take a date to really anything that's like active or something like you're taking a chance. You should tell them or ask them.
Yeah, I think so. To a certain point, yes. But even like I said, you would learn something about them really, really fast if they don't like any of those things.
Yeah.
But that's okay, right? Especially if it's early on, because it doesn't like you haven't invested that much time into the relationship anyways.
Right.
So if it's one of those things that you don't see it, like let's say you're a type of person that likes to go out a lot, you're an extrovert, and they're introvert, again, there's nothing wrong with that, but you're going to find out really fast. Because if you're like, hey, let's go to a concert, let's go to a festival, and they're like, I don't want to do that because I just don't like being around people, then it's like, okay, cool. You learn something. You learn that if you choose to be with this person is not going to be into some of the things that you are.
Yeah.
And you can make a choice at that point. Like, okay. Even like I said on the other dates, like if you find out that they get really frustrated really fast.
Foreshadowing.
No, I'm just saying at some point they're probably going to get frustrated with you. It might not be that they mean it. Maybe that's just the way they're built or whatever. But you learn. That's what I like. I like to learn things from my dates and experiences.
Have you ever tried to did you ever go on a non-conventional date and you didn't want to be there with this person and you couldn't really leave? Has that ever happened?
No, I can't think of. Did you have an example? I'm trying to think right now.
No, but you could even really honestly do dinner. Let's say that you order the food and then she says something crazy.
Yeah.
And then you have to, because you already ordered dinner, you can't just be like, okay,
let's go.
Exactly. I guess even then you'd have to stick it out. But
yeah, it depends on. I don't know. It would really depend. I've been on dates where I'm like, yeah, I know this isn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
At that point, I usually try to make the most of it, no matter what. Like I'm going to have fun as much as I can because I'm never going to see this person ever again.
Yeah.
So I might as well have as much fun as I possibly can.
Yeah.
So, but I do that in doesn't matter where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always looking for, I'm going to have fun in this.
Yeah. I remember I saw something, it was some kind of dating show where they went to a dance class and the guy, it was like outdoors in a pavilion kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he got really sweaty. And like what you're talking about, like he just immediately got very agitated and it turned the date horribly. But like, I think it would be hard to be in that situation because you're trying to pretend to have fun, but you're really uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, and I would say something like that, like on the opposite other than that. Let's say, because I don't do a lot of it, but I don't mind doing karaoke from time to time. But I know everybody's shy about that. But think about it, right? So let's say I take her to a karaoke bar. And either we could do a bar or we can do one of those ones where they have their own little private rooms because they do those, right?
Wait, where it's just like you two in a room singing karaoke to each other?
It could be. So so what they do now is they just rent out a room, kind of like the size of like your kitchen. Well, I'm sorry, it's like more of the size of your living room, right? So they rent that out, and you can bring as many people as you can. I mean, I'm sure they have a limit, or as few people as you want. You can have so you can be a group of 4. It can be a group
like
of
a
2.
small party.
Yeah, you can be in there technically by yourself, which would be the saddest thing. I mean, if you're trying to practice and you really enjoy singing, but just don't have a crowd to sing to, it works.
It'd be like, can you put like a curtain over the glass so no one can? That's sad. Surely they cover that up. I can't.
I don't know what to tell you. Actually, there's a place, for anybody that's local in the Bishop Arts District. They have, it's called Casablanca, and I believe they have karaoke in there too. But anywho.
Open or what you're describing?
What I was describing.
Oh, okay.
So it's a Casablanca, so it's like one of those, it's themed like that, and it has outside. It's really nice. But then when you go inside, you can have drinks, and then if you go further, they have the little karaoke things. But anywho, well, let's say you go there. This is what I was getting at. You go there, you start singing, she has fun and starts singing with you, and then she gets in there and sings, and let's say duet. In other words, like it couldn't go more perfect. Like if that was your thing, and then she was also liking it, and that was her thing too, it could be magical, right? Because you can turn it as a surprise and not tell her. And then once you get there, you discover
that she's an amazing singer or
something.
something.
And then or at least she doesn't even have to be an amazing singer, but she just enjoys that too. Yeah. And you guys can have a duet.
Like,
you would
my God, I love it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it would be an immediate connection.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, I mean, like now you're starting to think, can I be with this person for the rest of my life?
This is fate, because if you didn't tell her, and let's just say it happened to be her favorite pastime, that would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you would have a successful relationship. Like if anything like that happens.
But that's what I'm saying. Or maybe if you guys went out to, I've seen it on TV shows where they have those trivia nights.
Yeah.
So let's say you go to a trivia night and she's on your table and you find out like you're both interested in.
You both don't know anything.
Well, and you can have fun, or you can find that maybe they're both very knowledgeable. That sometimes is kind of cool too. I will say this much, and I'll just leave it at that. I love it when a woman is like when she's super intelligent and shows it. I'm not talking about like being a jerk about it, but I'm just talking about like she's very
like, yeah, oh, I know this one.
yeah, like she just knows stuff. Like let's say I was like, oh yeah, like you got hit in the neck right around here, and she's like, oh, that's in your jugular clavicle, blah blah blah. You know, she knows all the technical terms or whatever. Be like, oh crap, all right. But yeah, when they're super intelligent, so that could be a turn on too. Because like if you're doing trivia night and she knows these obscure trivia questions, I'd be like,
that's really cool.
Pretty impressed. I don't know if women feel the same way if a man can do that, but like, or you just
I've been to trivia nights before, but like I'm usually not very successful with those. I feel like they ask very obscure things, and I'm like, unless you were into that thing, like, you know, gosh, I'm trying to think of something, but like,
well, let me put it this way: is intelligence a turn on for women?
For me,
yeah,
I can't
just
speak,
for you. Well. It's like, let me make this clear. I'm not talking for all women, but
I don't know if that's important to women, but I like it. I like an educated man. Like I like him to know things, you know, and we can have intellectual conversations, which is very stimulating for me.
So you don't like them all to, you know, like, turn on your box thing. You mean the television? Yeah, you know, the
square thing.
The picture box that you have there.
Yeah.
No, but so I guess if there was a way that he could demonstrate that, that would be it right there.
I think even just a conversation, first date conversation, I would know pretty much immediately if you are those two.
A dud?
Yeah. Or those two. Like, you know, someone, and it's not, I'm not talking about when I say educated, I don't mean like going to certain schools or whatever. I'm
book
just saying
learning?
like.
You're not talking about book learning?
I'm talking about the books.
Ain't no book learning.
No books.
Right.
What the book? Oh my God.
You know, because, you know, I could have many leather bound books myself. So that's how I would show I was intelligent. Because remember in Ron Burgundy, trying to impress her.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a big deal. I don't know if you know this. But no, but like, yeah, if there's a way, you're saying just a conversation.
Yeah, in the first date conversation, I would know. Like if he's being very articulate and he has, you know, he's talking about a lot of things. If you just go there and be like, what do you do for fun? And then that's all they got? Like that's all their material?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's a genuine question.
You're like, what are you going to eat? What looks good?
Those are all legitimate questions.
I'm just saying that. I'm saying that minus any other conversation, really.
Well, I will say this: I don't know for men if that's also a thing, right? I don't know if certain men would get intimidated by intelligence, but me personally, I always gravitated towards the smart.
I'm sure some guys do if they feel insecure about their own intelligence. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't get that, right? But I've always, even when I was, you know, when I was in elementary, junior high school, I remember, this is what I did one time, by the way. I purposely, there was a program that they had in public school at the time. It was called TAG, Talented and Gifted, is what it stood for as an acronym. And
thank you for explaining that part.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm mansplaining there for you. But in case the people don't know what TAG is, like, what's TAG? Talented and Gifted. But so there was this one girl, and she was super kind of nerdy, but I don't know why. She did it for me. Like the nerdiness. She was really quiet, really shy.
It was her look, or you knew she was smart?
Both.
Okay.
Both. So she was very shy, and at the same time, I knew she was smart. Yeah. Because you know how every now and again the teachers would get bored or they got lazy.
And they would ask, so-and-so teach the class?
No. They would ask the students to pass out the grades sometimes. Oh. So you would go around and give people, while she's talking about lecturing, you're the teacher's pet and you're like giving everybody their paper. So I would see she was getting A's, and she was also in the Talented and Gifted.
You're not supposed to be looking at other people's grades, Jose.
Hey, I've been trusted to do this as a teacher's pet, so I could see it. Plus, sometimes, you know, they left them on the desk and you could see, oh, she got an A. Good for her. But, and of course, just being in that program, you had to be smart, right? Talented and gifted, that's what it stood for, right? So I remember she would go there. So what would happen is during regular class hours, for like the last 2 hours of the day, they would go off and do whatever the tag people did. But I was so shy. I was so shy. There's no way. And even to this day, I don't think she ever knew that I liked her. But
tell us her name. She can write in and
I don't remember her last name, but her first name was Veronica. I do remember that.
Veronica, if you're listening and this is you, please write in.
She's not going to remember me. Trust me. I was very forgettable. But I remember I got my grades up and I actually ended up going to tag and I did it just for her.
Aww.
So, but just so that I could see her. It was very stalkerish actually for a little boy, but
no, I think it's sweet.
I just wanted to.
You're really bettering yourself anyway. Like, education.
Nobody cares about this. I'm not in it for the learning. I'm in it for the girl. Who cares about this learning stuff? I have no use for that.
Like the guys who do take home ec, that they're like all the women in there. They just want to be around the girls.
Of course, that's what the smart guy would do. Why wouldn't you want to be in there? But yeah, I've done a lot of things for girls now that I think about it. But again, back in the day, I was really, really shy. I don't do those sorts of things anymore because that was my way of getting close to them without actually going up to them and talking to them like I should have done.
So as an adult, let's say that you like someone in the office like a lot. Mm-hmm. Would you consider transferring to their department so you could be around them?
Well, it's the opposite nowadays. You actually have to be not in the same department. It would be better for you to date than being in that department.
But I'm just saying, like, let's say she worked in a department where you only saw her like once a month at this one meeting or something, and you really wanted to see her more.
No. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't do acts like that anymore. I would go up to him and talk to him now.
Yeah.
Because what I learned is, had I just gone up and talked to him, I might have missed out on my grades. Probably wouldn't be. So I don't know. Now I need to think about it. And I couldn't have been with her because I never talked to her.
I know, but if you did talk to Veronica and you told her your feelings.
But that's what I'm saying. If I did, then I probably wouldn't have done so good that I would have got promoted to tag. You know what I mean? So I would have probably been, you know what I mean? It would have hurt me in the end. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, maybe she likes intelligent guys even back then. So she would have been like, I can't date you because you're not in tag. And then you're like, I'm going to get in tag.
No, and it was weird because I remember her haircut. And I can't describe it, but it's that like the chili bow, but it all the way down.
Yeah, I had that.
Yeah, so that's what she had.
I think all little girls in in the 80s, we all had that same haircut. Yeah. It's weird. It's almost like, because when you're a baby and your hair grows in kind of weird, I think that's how it starts to grow in, and then the parents may just kind of trim around, and then or it just grows into a mullet. All girls have a mullet when they're little. I remember
at the time, I don't know why, but I thought it was somewhat chic. I was like, really, because her hair, it was never natty or anything like that. It was always combed and it was straight and it looked like it was done like almost an obscure artsy fartsy kind of way. Does that make sense? That's why I always thought it was kind of chic when she wore it like that.
Well, it was called a mullet, but I mean...
Well, it was all the way down.
No, I know. Like I said, I had the exact same haircut, but it resembled a mullet way too much.
Yeah. Well, and I think the next year after that, I think she transferred out of there and so I never saw her again.
Well, she's going to write in. She's listening.
And I can't believe I did things like that. I really can't now that I think about it. Because now I'm totally different. If I really like somebody, I'll let them know pretty early on.
You're a kid, like, don't be too hard on yourself.
I'm just glad that I got rid of that habit. Yeah. Because if not, I'd be an adult just having crushes on people and never taking the plunge.
Well, there's guys that live their lives like that.
I know. And I feel really, no, and that's a real thing. That's a real, but the way I would suggest it, I've heard it, on a couple of either online sites or read, but if you want to break the habit of talking to girls, you have to make it a point to talk to one quote unquote good-looking girl. Whatever's good-looking to you, you have to make it a point, like you set yourself a goal and say, I'm going to say hi to 3 beautiful women today. Mm-hmm. Just say hi. You don't have to start up a conversation. Just walk by them and say, hi, how you doing? That's it.
Baby steps.
Yeah, exactly. And then the next, after you do that, you get desensitized and now it's not so bad. So then the next goal that you set for yourself is like, okay, now, you're going to extend the hi and maybe ask a question or something like that. Yeah. And then you do that over and over. After a while, you start desensitizing yourself and it makes it a little easier.
I think that's good advice for the men out there.
Yeah.
If you are shy still.
Yeah. Trust me when I tell you, I was very, very, very shy. Not so much now. I don't care anymore. I can speak in public and it doesn't bother me at all.
It's normal for kids to be shy.
Yeah.
You're unsure of yourself. You don't know anything.
I was an awkward kid. But But yeah, I mean, I think we touched on quite a few nice,
Yeah.
fun dates. This was fun. This is
Yeah.
fun, and I think there's still quite a bit more out there.
Yeah.
Because another one that we didn't really get into would be like wine tasting.
Oh, I love that.
Well, and here's the only thing about wine tasting is that if you get too hammered, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like things
That's
can
another long date too.
be like, what if you like throw up? Yeah, it's a long date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you do the wine tours where you're going to multiple ones, and that's like a whole day affair.
It is a whole day affair.
Yeah. And you'd also have to find out they like wine too, because if they don't, then like
The whole day she's gonna be
like
bored.
what if like you had, let's say that you did that for a first date and you surprised her and she showed up and you're like, okay, we're going on a wine tour. She's like, I don't drink.
Yeah, or she's allergic to it, or
Yeah.
she's a recovering alcoholic. Yeah,
I guess you
you're
just
done.
wouldn't go at that point.
Yeah, so that one is another one that you would need to wait until you got to know them, because you don't know. Because I don't know if you ever seen that movie Blind Date. It's a movie with Bruce Willis and Kim Basinger. So in that one, it's Blind Date, and she tells him, "I don't do well with alcohol."
And he takes her.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, don't worry about that." So they go. It's a work event, and he takes her there, and she has one too many drinks, and she embarrasses him in front of his boss and all of it. And then afterwards, she calls him out, and she was like, "I told you I don't do." He's like, "I didn't know you meant that. I just thought you meant you're being silly." But anyways, yeah, that's a good point. Anything with alcohol, yeah. If that's the entire event,
Yeah. This is the alcohol event.
right? That's what I'm saying. Because like the do-it-yourself, there's alcohol there.
Yeah,
bowling,
but you don't
alcohol
have to.
there exactly. But yeah, well, oh,
Like,
good.
we're going to go taste whiskeys today. Yeah. But yeah,
Might not
this
work out.
This is fun.
Absolutely. And if anybody has any suggestions for fun dates, please write in. Let us know. Here's the thing, 214@gmail.com.
And we also have a Facebook if you'd like to follow us there for additional content. Sometimes we put some teasers out there for upcoming episodes. So we'd love for you to follow us there.
Absolutely. All right. Fun conversation.
Yay.
All right. Until next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.